Hi everyone, my name's Steve King, and along with me this evening we've got Mr. Bruce Stroud. Now Bruce, you've been a race director of this, what is now the heart of the Rockies Triathlon, since its inception in 1983. Can you give us an idea as to why you got involved in the first place?
Well, in the first 1983, I was visiting outside the country, and I saw this triathlon as an event. I said, that's something I can do. Swimming obviously is my thing. I swam intercollegiately, and then what happened from there was I went to a race in Red Deer, Alberta, and after returning to Windermere in those days, I in the car said, gee, I think I can probably do this. I could probably organize a race. I am a teacher and phys ed teacher, and I'm used to organizing large events. Coach swimming professionally, same thing. So I just figured, well, I'll throw this out there, and in my very first year, 1983, I had 56 competitors.
Wow, and here we are, 2015,
Yes.
33 events later.
Exactly.
And you're still leading the pack in terms of organising the event. So what's kept you involved to this level?
Well, I mean, again, my own sort of fitness, and in the early stages, I raced at I would say, a competitive level in a master's category here in Kelowna for 6 years in the early days of Kelowna Alpha Triathlon, and I did well, and I just kept on from there. And my own race started to grow as I became a little more experienced with triathloning, and of course it became the races, just the people that I got to meet, and the number of acquaintances, not all friends, but number of people over the years that I got to meet. And like I say, fantastic people, and I just kept going from there. And it sort of changed. The original course that we had, the old Windermere Loop Triathlon, was an off-distance race, one-directional, 2,150 meter swim, 47K ride, 12K run, in and around circling the Lake Windermere.
And I understand at that time as well you had 2 transitions as well.
Yes, we did.
And there have been a lot of changes. No bike racks in those days either, no cash money on the line for the top 3.
No.
And you didn't have relays that first year either.
No.
So can you tell us about the expansion and what you have now? Because there's a sprint, there's kids races, all sorts of things. So please break it down for us.
Well, and then in 1984, a friend of mine said, I'd love to go on your race, Bruce, but the thing is I can't swim. I said, well, we'll do a relay. And then in that very first week, we even had kayaks. So you could kayak, you could swim, you could cycle, you could run, you could form a team. So in the very first year, surprising to me, we had 75 teams.
Wow. And
it was a bit of a shock. And so that became a very important, integral part, because now we had people come that, not serious. A lot of them were serious, but a lot weren't. They were just coming to experience a warm weekend in Windermere.
Well, were the weekends actually separated
initially
as well? Now it's all on one weekend?
Yeah. It was just a philosophy of mine, one of those idiosyncrasies. I just didn't think we could combine them, but it didn't take me long to realize that I needed to combine them because of the volunteer aspect, having people come out on different days. So it wasn't long. I think we ran it like that for a couple of years before we realized that we need to put these all on the same day. So of course it increased the numbers, and even that much more fun.
Right, I know there's one gentleman at least, Bernie Dupuy, who's done it over 25 times.
Yes.
You've had some volunteers as well that have done it many, many times. They come back because they love the event as well. You were telling me earlier about one particular person from Edmonton.
Oh, well, that was amazing. Since we've turned the race into a sanctioned, the Olympic distance, Heart of the Rockies, it was a wholesale change back in 2006. There's lots of reasons for that, but the main thing is we needed to be a sanction. I needed to get back to the essence of triathloning, an individual doing 3 disciplines. So over the years, Sandra and I, we received these, glowing, complimentary remarks post-race, emails and those sort of things. And this gentleman from Edmonton, at the end of the race, early into August, I received these, glowing reports of how much he enjoyed it and all that. And then he had an opportunity to just spend some time with him post-race this year, and then he told me, he said, well, I'm coming to Windermere in September to ride, golf, and with some friends. So he phoned me up and he said, would you mind joining me for a ride? I said, no, by all means, let's go. And the gentleman's name was Chuck Amarongden, and he said, we were out riding, and he said, he says, I have been to 9 Ironmen, I have been to 22 half Ironmen, I've done an array of Olympic distance races, he says, and this is my favorite race.
Wow, that's impressive.
And so, for me, I figured what needed to happen was that the rest of the active and the triathlon community needed to hear about our race, and the number of people that really enjoy themselves and come back year after year. They book their vacations around our event and everything.
And obviously there's a lot of maybe first timers or people who are new to the sport. Your original winners, Mike Dyer, Carol Gibson,
Yeah.
and now you look at the record
Yeah.
holders, Olympian Lisa
Yeah.
Mensick,
Yeah.
John Bird, one of the best in
Oh,
Canada, and you've got even cash time bonuses for them. But the other thing I love is the introduction of it for the youth triathlon, and I think it's from 4 years and upwards.
Yes, it is. We actually started at 5, but then we dropped it down to 4 because we got so many requests for 4-year-olds. And so we said, well, we'll go 4, 5, 5, 6, and then that'll, so it created another category for us. But they still have to swim the same distance. So we introduced the Young Hearts, we termed the Young Hearts, 6 years ago, and that has proved to be incredible from the fact that I now receive the grandchildren of some of my participants and competitors from the 80s. And some of them are still racing on teams generally, but so the introduction of the Young Hearts, we moved the venue to Kinsman Beach. We have a very novel approach to the swim start. We take all the kids out on a carpeted construction barge and they swim ashore. Kids love it, mothers love it, and a lot of kids will tell us it's the best part of the race. And then in the area we have very confined paved roads and a very safe venue with still a spectacular view of looking down Lake Windermere onto the Fairmont Range in the distance.
Well, one of the things I've noticed at different races too is I see all the t-shirts.
Yes.
I know you guys put out some brilliant shirts over the years, but there's something else that people like to come away with, the mugs.
Yeah, oh my God, you're right, Steve. The Heart of the Rockies Triathlon 20-ounce beer mug, Tudor style, is a very coveted prize within the triathlon world, and I can't get away from it because people say, "Oh no, you can't stop." I got 8 on my mantle. Every year they love to come and collect those. They go to first, second, and third in every age group, and first place in every relay.
Brilliant. So those people who are looking to doing the 34th version in 2016, what's the date?
This year it will be the July the 10th, the Sunday, July the 10th, following, of course, the Young Hearts on the 9th. So it's a weekend, festive weekend for triathletes, parents, and it's a shared weekend which we want between parents and children.
And one other thing, you're an avid swimmer, you've been on teams as well in your own event with people like Jamie Benninger, I noticed. You also put on some swims, a 2K and a 5K.
We do. We did that back in the 80s because swimming is sort of my gig and is what I did in the collegiate league. And I continued swimming, of course, because of triathloning in Calgary. And we have the Lake Windermere open water swim in the magical waters, as I say, of Lake Windermere. 20 kilometers from the headwaters of the mighty Columbia River, 1,200 miles long. And so we have this incredible lake, unbelievable setting, like I say, looking down the lake onto the Fairmont Range. Anyways, we have a 2K and a 5K, and just recently I've been asked to be as part of a series, the Can Aqua series. It was a 5-race series in Ontario, but now they wanted a Western Canada, BC representative. I said, I will do that.
Wow, that's impressive. So,
yeah. And we had incredible swimmers. This year, one gentleman swam 105 for 5K.
Wow.
From Lethbridge. And
if I recall rightly, Casey Emerson has won the women's division as well, and she's the person who's won our Star Lake Ultra Swim, which we're hoping to get back, by the way. So I certainly want to thank you very much for joining us this evening, Bruce. And I know there's someone else you want to thank, your partner all this time as well. Yes,
well, my wife Sandra, of course, who is the administration of the whole event, and without her it wouldn't happen. And as everybody knows, it's greatly appreciated. Yes, Sandra is. Without her, it wouldn't happen, believe me.
So we hope you will consider joining Bruce and Sandra and the rest of the athletes who will take on the Heart of the Rockies 2016. Try to keep fit.
Thank you.